Following up on that, talking about the G2 owner tweeting about how well Apex has been playing and how much hard work he's been putting in. He had a phenomenal game, 24-20. He had 86 ADR, so very active for a guy who's considered, you know, the stereotypical entry fragger. Kenny S as well, no surprises there, 24-16 with 67 ADR. On the other side, I think it was Bolts at 23-15, and then Henny and KNG at 20 and 21 kills respectively for Immortals on map 1.
On map 1, yeah. I mean, just, it's nice to see that someone like Apex, who doesn't always have to be the superstar for the team to do well, can come in and do that, then creates a lot of space for all the rest, you know.
Back to your story about him that you mentioned during that game, where
yeah, that was Winter 15, by the way.
Yeah, he had, you said it was in a series and he had a bad map, and he just kind of like went off on his own from the team and just kind of recentered himself. Being an entry fragger, that's the kind of role that like almost takes more mental fortitude than perhaps anything except for maybe in-game leading, where you just have to be mentally prepared to sometimes have bad games and mentally prepared and be able to bounce back. Like, you have to have a short memory, because sometimes you are going to go first, and sometimes the flashbang isn't going to connect the way it wanted to, and you're just going to get wrecked, and sometimes it snowballs out of control. So you have to be able to bounce back quickly, and he's a guy who's proven that he can do it time and time again.
And since we do have a little bit of time here before the all join up, I think we're missing 3 players from the server at the moment. That dreaded side that we were talking about, when that happens on the team, you know, when one person just, you know, can't hold it back and goes, oh, you know, at this professional level, do you think that's going to happen much? Is that going to be like, is that going to impact people? Are people going to say, save it for later, you know, don't worry about it?
Yeah, people, you always say that, right? But I don't know if it is always as effective as you'd like it to be.
Because I've seen different iterations, right? I've seen some Danish teams in the past that weren't, you know, Astralis, but some of the you know, second and third on the rank there. I guess a couple of years back, but even then, who really got frustrated and really let it show, you know, when they really had to like internal fights in the middle of the game, and that is not healthy, obviously.
No, it's not, and especially if you think that, you know, a team like Immortals, who've had discussions. I mean, when we had Steel at some of those post-game interviews at the PGL Major qualifier and the PGL Major itself, him talking about one of the big issues that Immortals had to work on was the emotions of the team. It is that conversation we've had plenty of times on the desk of, you know, having those high emotions can sometimes like help propel you forward and help you build some momentum in the game. But if, you know, if you're going to be that hyped and that excited and that loud and that active, when you go the other way, it's also very damaging. And that's the side where the sigh comes in, because that just brings everyone's mood down. Even if you just say forget about it and move on, everyone's going to kind of know what that sigh means.
Did your team back in the day have like any kind of like a sort of a safe word to call that off? Like, was there anyone that could like throw in the towel and say and break up like a fight between 2 players, or I mean a fight, but a discussion or something like that?
Back in the day, my team was led by my brother, who was basically a dictator of the team. So that kind of shit just didn't fly. That was like you get a stern talking to.
All right.
Back in the day.
I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you need that sometimes, I think. I mean, I think when I played at a much lower level, we had something like that. We tried to sort of like remind each other to say, like, you know, just move on. You know, this isn't worth it. You know. I'm
not gonna lie. I think it was a lot easier back in the day to kind of remove emotions from it, because the game was just played so much differently. Not only like in the meta of like early 1.6, but also in 1.6, even in the later days, it was a lot easier to know the right and the wrong decisions as an individual player. Like, it was a lot more black and white in that sense, where you just kind of knew this was either smart or it was dumb. And in this game, it's not as clear cut anymore.
I'll tell you a brutal story, because one of the teams I was in, 2 of our members were roommates. They were sort of living together.
Yeah.
And one of them was the team captain, and the other one was like, so, you know, just sort of his friends that, you know, because again, we weren't at such a high level, but, you know, we took it seriously and we practiced and played in online leagues, stuff like that. And one night he got so angry at his roommate that he just yelled at him. You could hear the echo in like the room that he was so angry. And then, you know, we ended up losing that match, and they didn't talk for the rest of it pretty much. So we just like played it out. And then the next day he said, yeah, he's not on the team anymore. We're like, but you guys are roommates, so how's
That's
that
gotta
gonna
be
work?
so awkward, wasn't it?
That was just the end of that, so gotta be really careful with stuff like that.
It would have been way more epic if he's like, yeah, he's moving out next week.
He's moving out.
He's been ejected.
It's gone. Yeah. Well, it's serious. Counter-Strike is really serious business when you, even at a low level, gotta be careful.
That's epic. That's good stuff. Just as a quick update, we did just now get the 5th player,
Yes.
or the 10th player, I guess it would be, to join the server. So imagine we'd be going live pretty shortly. In fact, the countdown is starting right now.
And we are going to be playing on Inferno as well. Who do you favor on this map? We've seen crazy, fast-paced Counter-Strike on a map where there's some distance between, you know, T and CT. Now we're close-range Inferno. Can we turn up the pace even more?
There's a lot of ways that you would say this map is going to, a lot of reasons why you could say this map would actually favor G2 at this certain point, just because it's a map, you know, historically they've usually been pretty good on. Also, I mean, if you have an entry fragger that's on point on this map, that's able to get kills to enter bomb sites very quickly, and as we saw Apex on Mirage, if he's going to bring that level of play again, then that's a benefit for G2. Also, the lenience and the reliance on the AWPs for the Immortals side of thing, especially on the T side Mirage, we saw a lot of double ops coming out. That can be worrying as it's a little bit more difficult on Inferno. So there's a lot of reasons to point to G2, but I have Immortals winning the series, so I'm gonna stick to my guns.
You did pick that, didn't you?
Yeah.
They let you down on that 2v5. Right?
Yeah, that was the extra pain, wasn't it?
Oh well, they're taking the knife round seriously, that is for sure. And once we get into it, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It'll be Immortals winning the knife round, deciding this starting point. They're going to start CT side. So if you are just joining us, you're just in time for the end of the second day of DreamHack Masters Malmö here. We're still in winners matches, so no one is being sent home from these two. But but it's gonna get exciting, that's for sure. I
mean, here's the crazy thing is, yeah, these aren't elimination matches, but there's still so much riding on it because obviously it's qualifying into the playoffs. But the teams we have left, like, there's not a whole lot of like free wins, so to speak, left in this tournament. Like, this is a pretty deep field in terms of teams that can all upset each other at the moment.
Yeah, and you've got to be quite careful. I think if you start losing games now, the competition really is going to be really tough. I think if you're losing here, you're going to be playing Fnatic, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. So
very possible.
So that could be a bit of an uphill struggle. Already we're into the pistol round here. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Apex again with 2 big headshots, opening up the pistol round in favor of G2 on the T side. Steel took 1 return, and that might just hold on to the round a little bit here. Steel fighting for his life inside of the smoke. Backup is miles away. They're all around him. How is he still alive? He hasn't reloaded. He's got 4 bullets, sneaking out of the smoke and actually escaping. That's madness.
It is, but like, what else can you do here? 15 HP, they've got to find this kill. That would have been a huge benefit to get that, and he can't. Bolts again in the pit if he could have cleared out for that position. But look at this, the double peek out of G2. They get aggressive. They know where the other 2 players are. Oh, and they line up. It's Apex in a one-on-one. Down in the pit.
Penny, he's got the health for it. Apex certainly hasn't. The bomb is down. He's out in the middle. Just a huge off angle here. And Henny trying to get up on the hay cart. Apex sneaking in, and it's the headshot. Apex to close it out. 3 health and 4 kills, and G2 gonna win the round. Yeah. that had everything.
God bless. We said it was gonna be exciting, and right in the pistol round, Immortals pushing down mid as well. They don't get the initial success they wanted out of that aggression, and that's where you see it come back to bite them because G2 is able to swarm them and trap these 2 players. Apex with a couple great kills, even winning this one-on-one with a quick tap. G2 almost giving that up. Regardless, they have the AKs, the Galils, and an SMG on Apex. It's a full investment from the Immortal side. Only 1 flashbang, UMP on Steel, Scout onto Henny.
Again, I would have given a lot to... I would have even said that take the CZ over the Scout on a map like Inferno. Just a bigger chance that you're going to get to use it.
Yeah, you do kind of have to hope that you're just going to get that 1 headshot, don't you, with that Scout, it feels like.
Yeah, or if you really are going to play the Scout, then play it mid and just try and get a lot of body shots in. Like, I mean, that could work, but
tag him early on.
Yeah, tag him early on, exactly. Because that will put a lot of sort of slowdown on the T side if suddenly 2 of their players are on 30 health. Well, there's 1 shot. Shock's committing to the fight. Flashes in NBK. That's a good angle.
G2's not messing around at the moment. Those are some pretty quick kills. Even Shock's taking damage, but it might not matter. There's the UMP coming to play. And the CZ as well, that's the bomb. Little bit of a blunder. It's up to Shox to get it, but he doesn't want to do it alone. He's got to wait for teammates. Thankfully, Apex has taken out Steel at the end of Halls. And at the moment, it's going to be Lucas rotating quickly as possible to back up KNG here.
Yeah, Lucas has got the deagle. They do have a smoke if they want to try and pick up the bomb, but they're not even going to use it, just running right in there. Spray is in, and oh my god, Lucas and KNG bringing it back, and now they're going to go for the fight. Apex takes one. Apex, he saved it in the pistol. He's going to have to try it again. There's 10 seconds left. The smoke is up, running through, and KNG to take him down. And now we're definitely live here. Triple for KNG and Immortals. They win it right back.
That's intense. And yes, it was a blunder from Kenny going up mid just a little bit too alone. Shox low HP, not prepared to trade. And this is you see Shox, he actually puts the brakes on. He knows he can't go alone. He's got to wait for his teammates. But Lucas gets there just in time.
Now, they had the smoke, G2. They could have smoked off that angle. They wanted to go for it, and they just both go down. Unbelievable.
They buy up right back into this. Fully invested. Everyone below 500. Apex and Shox with all the utility.
This is crazy.
I mean, it came up with what we talked about with that scout. I mean, Henny doesn't get the kill, but that one tag on Shox, I mean, he doesn't have the HP to go up and fight with Kenny, right? When that bomb gets dropped, I mean, that's probably part of the equation. The low HP doesn't want to fight against those pistols all on his own.
Yeah, it isn't easy. These pistols here on the G2 side, again, they could do so much damage, and they actually have enough for an execute. I mean, they have the flashes and the smokes. It's a great job on Lucas getting that one kill. And that's going to put a big dent into G2. They needed some of that. Going to be a crouching spray from Henny, and Lucas comes charging around the corner. Almost gets another one in there. A lot of damage onto body. But now the bomb is dropped, and well then, NBK with a shot. Now it's a 2-on-2. I have no idea. They can't shoot through that wall with the Eagle, unfortunately. NBK though in a 1-on-2.
He's got a chance here if he can get a little bit lucky with his deagle on this peak onto Henny. Jumping in the air. There was a moment where that was a possibility. 25 seconds left in the round. He's got to pick up the pace now, and you can see Immortals getting a little bit more passive back towards the site, going for a flash peek. And now there's no time for NBK to go back towards the A bomb site. Even if he gets the bomb out in the open, he had a chance there. But Henny's going to clean him out. So it gets close. We know the French players are dangerous with pistols. They were the ones who really were the first team to kind of start up with that reputation of just being so incredibly dominant with CZs and on the force buys.
Yeah, actually really early on in Global Offensive, even when sort of NIP were the dominant force, really the only force to be reckoned with, a lot of the French teams were still really dangerous, especially Inferno, because of how fast they were. Like the sort of aggression that would come out on the T side was so hard to contain. So even if some of the Danish teams were also, you know, up there and could sort of contend with them, I think Inferno was one of those maps where you really had to be scared. Now they're going to be pushing through the middle. They trade KNG right away, and Steel doing some scatter damage onto the other two through the smoke, so that's not too bad. Bolts wants to go aggressive with the MP9, and he's going to find an easy enough kill there. The bomb is back, though, and they still have that M4. Yeah,
it's going to be a pretty questionable decision. You can debate this one as well. G2 buying up into this round as well. Again, everything they've got is invested into this round, thinking that since they got it down to just 2 players, the economy is going to be so weak on the Immortal side of things, but this could put him in a tough spot later on in the half, but a good kill from Body. It's just their HP is so low, and Steel, he's in great position to end this probe towards the A bomb site before it even begins. They lined up. He can get a double here, gets the first kill, and he's going to follow up with a death, but Lucas is there to trade it off.
It looked like he should have had that second kill, Steel. A little bit worried. Apex picking up the bomb, and if he could make this cross and actually get the bomb down, that in itself would be quite valuable to the G2 team just in terms of the money. But turning around, getting shot in the back by Lucas, and Immortals now 3-1. There are going to be a lot of Brazilians fans out there that are very excited of this kind of a beginning for Immortals, and the question is if they can keep it up here. They've got the AWP on Henny, and what would you say? Double AWP on Inferno? I mean, they don't really have the money for it now, but in the future, would you want to?
It's tough to argue. I would personally say no. We've seen the double AWP before. We saw, I mean, yeah. Famously FaZe tried to pull it off with Nico and Alu at the Star Ladder final, where it kind of struggled a little bit. It's hard to kind of tell a team with Henny and KNG not to do it, but yeah. Just in terms of like the theoretical thinking of Counter-Strike, I would say no. Just so it's already so hard to retake bomb sites. You're kind of really neutering yourself if you bring 2 ops to play here. Another full investment from G2 as well. They bought up completely into this one. Steel with the opening kill, so much pressure. They're handling it well though. Great trades, and that's a beautiful shot from Steel as he peeks up. And they might have just done it. This is 3 force buys from G2 in a row.
They've been smacked down by Immortals so far. It's been some close rounds, but this is working out heavily in the CT's favor. Bolts to get the kill. That position from Steel is beautiful. We call it Graveyard, and it's actually just very hard to deal with. It's even though it's obviously a well-known position, because of the sort of the really wide angle that you're peeking, whether you're coming up from quad or from the apartments, you just have so many positions to cover that you forget that one.
The real pain of it is the fact that, you know, it's so easy to stay alive there if you're that defender, and then if all you do, even if you just get like 1 kill and then dinked, as long as you just stay alive, you've created a second avenue, a second angle that the terrorist has to think of as they enter the bomb site. So that's where it becomes difficult, because you've always got to keep mind of it. This is dangerous with the AWP, but Henny's going to manage that first kill nicely.
Yes, he will. They don't have armor on half the players that are left, so if you take a shot through the wall, that could be interesting. But instead, they sacrifice themselves to Lucas, and he's going to take every single one and make it 5-1 here. This is the kind of start you want on the CT side of Inferno, because once that economy is locked down, you just get so much more to work with.
Listen, Anders, we are, this is the 7th round of this match, and we haven't even seen a gun round yet out of G2. That's kind of the danger of that forced buy tactic. They got lured in by some of those successes, bring it down to 1 player on the 2nd round, bring it down to 2 players in the 3rd round, and on the 4th. Now, finally, we're going to see them with the rifles in hand. Just seems like it's a little bit late, and it's a good call. There was a timeout, a tactical pause for the G2 side of things, as you can see up on the screen, and probably a good thing, because since you've given up so many rounds trying to play that economic grind down game in the first 6, you have to make sure that this first rifle round goes well. Because the economy has been built up on the Immortals side. Steel's got almost 8,000, Bolts has 5,400, Henny has 5,600. That's a pretty daunting task to think about.
Now that they have the equipment, what does Shox have planned for us? Great set of grenades landing on G2. This was important, you said, and already they're severely handicapped, trying to see if they can get in. That shot almost hits body. No idea how it doesn't, in fact. Bolts and MBK have both gone down, so it's a 4-on-4, and there's a lot of damage being put into Immortals as well. There's action all over the map right now.
Yeah. Immortals won the early nade game at Banana so very well, but the follow-up Molotov that Henny had to run through as he fell away, NBK gets a kill on the other side of the map. This is now very difficult for Immortals to handle, and they're split 2 and 2 at each bomb site. KNG and Steel, now they're the high HP players, so that's at least a benefit. There's a good kill from KNG. Kenny with the AWP can't turn the corner and trade fast enough.
They're gonna try and fall back, and I think that's a smart decision here. Steel down in the pit again. Very hard to dig players out of there, especially if you don't have too many grenades. Apex has a Molotov that might be very useful. KNG's over by the archway here. 30 seconds. G2, they have to make this round work. They've been waiting for a long time to get these rifles. KNG's actually fallen back into the site, and yeah, this is not going to be easy. Jumping right in, Apex landing in front of Steel, and he's going to take that kill every single time. KNG goes down, Steel trying for more, gets the spray on one, and Body's alone on the site with 15 seconds. He's going to take down Steel. It's still doable. They're far enough away. He's going to get the bomb plant in, and he has the smoke, which means he can sort of zone out a bit of this incoming push. And there's a headshot taking down Henny. Oh my god. Body with the smoke up and now trying to jump on top. Lucas goes down. Body gets all 3 kills for the quad, and G2 win the round miraculously.
That is an incredible performance from Body inside the bomb site, stuck as well. He finds Steel, trying to make that happen in an unlikely round. They do win it. They've lost a lot of players. And because of that, that's a lot of rebuys. I mean, still, the T-side economy, we all know it's a little bit easier. But when you lose 4 players like this in a win, you still haven't built up any money, so you're right on the verge of a reset. It even feels like it might be a little bit of a sketchy buy. Apex and Body just both at 3,300. Shox is relegated to a Galil. Apex has a CZ just so he can get the nades. Kenny does have an op, which is a good benefit, but another timeout by G2 just because they know they cannot lose the ensuing round.
And we had a brief discussion about that double AWP, and it's come out for Immortals. They've gone for it.
Like I said, you can't really argue against it, can you? We've just seen them make it work in so many different scenarios.
Well, it's been 7 rounds, and all of them have been just complete fire at this point. Like, there's no slowdown at all here.
That's how both teams wanted as well, so no one being disappointed whatsoever. A lot of utility towards this B-bomb site. They've seen Henny be aggressive here so many times. This time he's a little bit more passive, just playing in the archway. Nades, Molotovs to follow, and he wants to stick around, and he actually tags Body through that wall. So even trades pretty much.
So bold trying to get that shot when he's actually standing in the fire, but I suppose at least he got that. So top banana control for G2. Does that matter at all when you're on the T side?
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, this is also, it's going to be interesting because this is the first time we've seen G2 really take banana control without taking too much like heavy damage or loss in some sort. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. It looks like they just want to line up for a hit onto this B-bomb site. They want to go right at Henny. They want to go right at Lucas.
Good counter Molotov coming out. It actually allows Henny to try and challenge the smoke. He's going to get one. Lucas with the Molotov, and it's falling a bit apart here for G2. They need to do a lot of damage and preferably win the round. Again, their economy is still very bad. KNG going to be walking in, scoped up, but he misses the first chance and falling back quick as Shocks. Kenny taking down Bolts, and the bomb is down. So now Steel and KNG fighting here. Immortals know they've got G2 on the ropes, but Shocks is going to pick up the AWP and take the kill on KNG, and Steel has to fall back. So G2, they barely make it through. It looked like that was going to fall apart.
It looked like they were going to hold the line, didn't it, Lucas? Great job by NBK just protecting against that kind of a peak, supporting Kenny very, very well. And Immortals is out of money. You know, that you want to go back to that discussion of should you double up. We know how important utility is on Inferno. And now that you're investing so much money in 2 AWPs, you're out of it. So G2, after that early streak of force buys, it looked a little bit dire, but they've gotten into it now. 3 in a row. 2 in a row. No, 3 in a row.
Would you say the fish lost, Moses?
Did they lose? Because they got blown up?
Yeah. I thought that was...
You really are going to dark places now, aren't you?
I thought that was the thing you said. I thought that was... I swear I heard you and Pansy.
Lost?
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Oh, I did say that at some point.
See, I'm not just making things up. At least not all of the time.
Yeah, no, you haven't gone fully insane just yet.
Flashbang, and Kenny charging top mid with an AWP. That's just very bold, and they're not going to expect it. Kenji definitely wasn't ready for that.
No, not at all. That's pretty dynamic, pretty ballsy opping from Kenny, getting up mid so quickly. Steel is going to be playing over at the B-bomb site with this M4. All he's got is a Molotov. Slow-paced round from G2, looking for any kind of aggression.
If they come A, they're going to run into a 3-man stack from Immortals. If they go B, it'll be the M4. I guess there's a sort of logic here. It's hard to imagine. Either way, it's difficult for Immortals to make this work. And Steel is one of those positions where if he gets a double spray, and then great. But if he just gets one kill and sort of falls back off the box, they're going to chase him down.
It's not nearly enough, is it?
Yeah.
I can't tell if Immortals is taking a gamble, rotating Henny and Bolts over towards the B-bomb site, or if they perhaps want to get aggressive. Like you bring all 3 players over, and then you push and be aggressive regardless. Bombs being shuffled around by G2. They have yet to make their final decision where they want to hit. Shocks, at the very least, is going to be making some kind of a presence over towards A. Pop flash at the top mid. That's pulling Bolts away. Henny considered it, but he's going to stick around. Now there is a slight chance for Immortals here, especially...
Henny's got a deagle. So, one headshot as they go in. Well, it's going to be Body dishing it out instead, and Steel, he's in so much trouble. He does get a double lineup, goes for the triple, and it nearly works out. Bolts coming in with 10 seconds, and Shocks is so far away. How have Immortals turned this round? Steel is an absolute hero, and Shocks is going to give up on this little adventure. Time is out. Clock's going to run down. If he dies now, it's a disaster, and he's trying to stay alive. Oh my god. 6 to 3 here. I mean, I have no idea what just happened. Help me out, Moses.
Lucas is just a beast. I'm not sure how this wasn't traded. Oh, they just line up for him a little bit. Just a little bit of poor route taking into that bomb site. And that's just too much, isn't it?
I was sure that as soon as he fell off the box into the corner, that's it.
Like, they spotted him with the jump as well. So they knew exactly where he was. It was just, you know, that second player. That first player swings wide, which is great, over towards Grill. Second player, MBK, just trying to get into the site a little bit too weak of an angle. Nice peek from Kenny S. Henny gets destroyed. Lucas is up next. He's legged. He's got to fall away, but they want to chase him down. They know he's low.
It's going to be body even flashed to get the kill. The madness continue here. This game is just high octane right now. They've saved a second AWP now that they've picked up. KNG just rushing into the angle and almost getting the kill on Shox. Bomb is down again. It won't stop here. 10 rounds in, and it's non-stop action as body explodes. Steel with another frag, and it's now a 3-on-3. They've got the defuse kits here, Immortals, and obviously they're going to go for the retake. Shox close with the AWP. They're coming in. He tries to no-scope it, gets the leg shot on one, but Steel with the refrag. It's still a 2-on-2, and then the Molotov in, almost on top of the bomb. That's great. Steel runs in, gets the kill. He's got the triple. He's defusing inside of the smoke, but Apex gets one and a second as well. Oh my god. How is this happening?
This is insanity. I thought the Molotov was going to slow everything down, but the smoke on top of it, this is just a brawl back and forth, Anders. There's no explaining some of this, but phenomenal work from Apex right at the end here. This is just great from G2, though. I mean, they get those kills in Banana, they get the tag, and then eventually they clean them off, and they just pick up the pace and get into that bomb site. They know there's no one nearby. They know the route to rotate over is far too long for there to be a third player there.
Not exactly your traditional game of Counter-Strike, this.
It's really not, is it?
We've ventured a bit off the beaten path, and we're out in the wilderness.
I mean, it looks like G2's just loving this B bomb site at the moment. Look how aggressively they're attacking it right now, and it's so smart that they're not committing at all. They've forced out, and this is a full buy from the Immortals side of things. And this kind of pressure so early on has taken away so many of the nades that Immortals would like to keep here towards the end of the round. Henny's out, Lucas is out, KNG, he's out of nades as well. So there's no real utility to usage that can slow down a hit at this point.
Apex and Kenny are just on the other side of the map, making sure that no one from Immortals could sneak in anywhere. If anyone tried to sneak out of apartments or top mid, then they would get caught pretty quickly. Good trade from Lucas, making sure G2 stay honest at the moment. KNG and Lucas are still holding over here, and it won't be easy once the push comes.
There's no more smokes on the G2 side either. So a bit of a blunder. They're going to have to fight their way, and Lucas and KNG can have a nice... Oh, that's a nice pop flash, though. Just as Shox goes for the peak. KNG gets one, but he's traded off. He almost got Kenny S. But that should secure the round. It was a bit dicey there for G2. They're going to make it work. It's going to be a 5th for them.
Yeah, no kit here on the Immortals side, and 2 versus 3, so should be no way for them to make this back. Almost taking out bolts, and that's going to send Immortals running. So you're right, a 5th round being picked up here.
The early portions of this half started with a lot of pressure from Immortals on this Banana, like a lot of nade work. I mean that was going back and forth. Kenny's won that duel straight up a couple times, outpicking Henny over there, and then getting a leg that was followed up by a kill. So, I mean, really, it just feels like this game at the moment is both of these teams vying for Banana, and whoever gets it is just like the victor of the round.
I can't believe what we're seeing. This is one of the few slightly more paced rounds that we've had. Like a normal round. Didn't quite explode. Every other round has just been full-on madness here. 6-5 and moving into the 12th round here. It is map 2 and still the first half, so there could be a lot more to come here. Immortals, though, that economic growth that they had in the beginning, it's really been slowed down, so they need to find a way back into the rifles.
It's weird how playing against rifles will do that versus pistols.
Yes.
Regardless. Really cool stuff from G2. They're doing it again. Just going and attacking the B bomb site early on. 3 players there. They have Kenny S with the AWP in mid to split anyone who's going to peek down, and he also has the bomb pretty much nearby. So having the bomb in the middle of the map, it can go wherever it wants. And Body, there's a smoke here. They peek through it, and he transfers in time. Second player, and I think Body's going to find out this is pretty clear.
Yeah, you see Body returning to cover the bomb site, so secure that his teammates are going to cover the smoke if anyone comes through again. That's some pretty good teamwork. I think Body's just a very smart player, in fact. You have to love just the positional part of his play is a lot of fun to watch. Bolts does get the grenade on Body at the end, and MBK with a refrag there for a triple, so Steel making a lot of noise coming through. Should be no chance for him to do anything. He's going to take down Shocks, and what on earth is going on? Jumping headshot with the UAP, almost dropping Kenny. Should be illegal, shouldn't it?
He's going to go for it now. He probably thinks he's very low. Oh, and he eats the nade. Kenny returns the favor, but if he had for some reason just gotten that kill, that would have been so intense. 6-6 now, though. Here's the thing. Immortals are going to buy again. They are going to have an AWP, so Henny and Steel trade op and M4. Just another tough round, though. Not a lot of utility on the Immortals side. I said that like the utility battle that Immortals had early on towards Banana was great. They were doing so much damage with nades, with Molotovs. It was hoping to allow Henny to peek and be a little bit more aggressive. He was peeking towards the logs with the AWP a couple times. Without all of that, he's playing it a little bit more passively, and it's not as successful. The question becomes now, and it might be this round, is because G2 has given B bomb sites so much attention, when do they just switch things up and take advantage of it? Because you know in the minds of Immortals, they've got to be mentally preparing to rotate over towards that B bomb site at this point.
They've got the boost going on towards quad instead, so that boost is great if they mainly push boiler and mid, but if they also come out of apartments, you're going to get locked in, and KNG goes down on the one side. A bit of a presence here for Steel, but Kenny will drop him, and that leaves Bolts alone, and they're coming in from every angle. This is just almost impossible for him to do anything. If he gets more than one kill, that would be a miracle, and he goes down to Apex instead. What a clean take.
You've got to be so mad if you're Bolts. Like, what's the point of being boosted up if KNG is going to take that kind of an angle where you can't even help him, and then your player underneath you is going to peek out into an AWP? I mean, if you're boosted, that's the entire point of that defense. That's the strength of it, is that kind of vertical stack, is the angle they're not prepared for.
Yeah. Very hard, you're right, for Bolts to actually have any say in that. Henny gonna get hunted in the bomb site. They're coming in from every angle. That's baiting out the shot with a shoulder peek. He's trying to hide inside the smoke. Kenny's gonna call his bluff. My God, that's 7-6, and the money reset once again for Immortals here. Things are not looking good for them at the moment.
No, not at all. They haven't been able to regain control of this match. And a lot of it comes down on both of these teams. I mean, it is exciting, but it is frustrating at times, because both of these teams are really much into this like force buy mentality at the moment, as we saw it early on from G2. And now we're seeing it out of Immortals. Like some of the pistol buys they've had, this is what's taking the ops, not necessarily away from them, but this is what's keeping the utility from backing up those AWPs.
Yeah, it's a pretty big stretch. Now they're playing 4 UMPs and 1 Mag 7 in the 14th round. If it doesn't work out, they're giving a lot of this for second map to G2. Close to the Mag 7 here. You see MBK is sort of a bit worried. He's feeling like something might be up. Gonna go around the corner and immediately goes down. Oh, nice wallbang coming in. Apex not even giving Steel a fighting chance here. KNG goes down. Kenny again with a peek. 4 versus 3.
That's a sick peek from Kenny as well. That is so fast to come in, and Bolt's all alone in the pit. He gets one, and he can buy time as well from this position, but he's not able to actually do it. And then Henny's just caught out in the open, trying to do a bit too much. Lucas has nothing to do. G2 again overrunning the defense, even despite losing NBK early on. Another good game out of Apex so far. 14-9 for him. NBK's got 12. Kenny's got 10.
I mean, you could really say the Immortals players, they're not lacking in confidence, right? All of them are willing to take every fight at every angle at all times, but it feels like maybe that's also what's backfiring a bit sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Just the lack of patience, maybe.
Look at Steel. He's having himself a game.
Yeah.
17-10.
He's done a remarkable job, but it will be 8-6 in favor of G2 as we move into the 15th round, the last of the half here. See what Immortals can do in the round. They will have an M4 picked up, and they're going to have a little bit in this round, but it won't be great.
No, it won't be. I mean, a lot of players just sitting right around $3,400 coming into the buy, so a couple M4s being purchased, but I think the rest is basically going to be UMPs. Obviously, no AWP. But at least they've got some utility. That could be like the change, though. I mean, if you can use that utility properly at Banana like we saw earlier on, they might be able to slow things down, might be able to do some damage that softens G2 up for later on in the round.
Again, Bit of a slowdown for G2. Feels like the pace that we set early on, eventually it's run out. Like,
it's hard to keep that up for 15 rounds, isn't it?
Yeah, I was getting worried as well because it was hard to keep up with, even just watching the game. Now, they're pretty fond of taking this top mid control, and they've been very successful at doing it, especially with Kenny opening up with the AWPs. You can't really blame them. That's a teammate. Everyone calm down. Molotov into the ninja corner, and that's just... There's a headshot from KNG, but with the wrong rifle.
Even with an M4, that's not a kill, right? So, yeah. Dangerous situation. Henny's going to rotate over with that UMP. He does clean up that kill. Puts Kenny and Shocks in kind of a weird spot, but they're going to keep working their way over, and some damage gets traded out. Pretty even between Shocks and Henny. And now they're going to make their way over towards B. Lucas is in a tough spot. He's got to make a big decision here.
Especially now that he's lost Henny. Lucas picks up one, goes for the fight, and takes Body down as well. That's remarkable. Does control the bomb on that side. He's got 30 seconds. He can see the bomb, but the problem is Kenny's on the other side with the AWP. He takes him down. Lucas, very well done. That's the triple, and NBK has got 4 health, so it should work out here. NBK smoked off the bomb, but there's no time for him to run back to the A-bomb site, so he really has to commit to this. 10 seconds now. NBK picking up the bomb and running all the way through, and Lucas going to go for the fight. There's the quad kill. That's a huge win for Immortals. Yeah, big round from Lucas to get that 1-on-2 as well. I think he just spotted Kenny's feet under a gap in that smoke, but yeah, that got very, very awkward in that CT spawn battle with Shocks and Kenny there. I thought Lucas was eventually just going to turn around, run back to help his teammate, but this is a great job. Dropping down as well. Body still trying to clear the site. I don't think the communication came in time for him to really... I think maybe Lucas's play was just too fast for him to really acknowledge what was going on. And a good win from Lucas, but that's a lot of time that Immortals spent without winning a round. At one point it was 5 straight for G2. It was, 7 of the last 9 rounds went their way as well. Yeah. I think G2 are going to be sort of satisfied with what's going on here, but still a very open game. And this isn't the old Inferno that was like super CT sided. No. This one seems just to lean towards the T side a little bit at times. Yeah, I think that's partially... I've been somewhat critical of how people play CT side here. I think a lot of the CT sides are kind of miserable to watch because it feels like people have forgot some of the basics on Inferno. Actually, Immortals did a lot to try and control top mid. They just weren't very successful against Kenny, but a lot of the teams don't even try and do that anymore. They fall all the way back and just hold pit and arch. Yeah, and then you're basically denying yourself information at that point. Yeah, it's very hard. It is like a very tough, because either way is a risk of some sort, right? Because when you're playing top mid as a CT team, you can get smoked off so easily. If you're on the wrong side, you just lose the site then. So it is a little bit of a gamble either way. Regardless, pretty basic setups for both teams to open up this pistol round. Shocks takes a little bit of damage, calls for a pop flash, hoping that someone from Immortals is getting aggressive. Doesn't happen. I think he's just going to fall back. 4 players of Immortals heading this way. Oh, he's going to get flashed into an army of people, and Lucas takes him down. And now NBK's realizing, hold on, there's trouble. Looking for the one tap, but even he's going to get forced back and overrun by KNG. What a great start for Immortals. Apex takes 1, but he's going to get shot down. The Brazilian side, no, they have to win this round. Establish a strong start to the second half. They are very much near the edge here. They've lost the first map already. A lot of damage onto Kenny, and it's looking good at the moment. In fact, I think, are they saving? Yeah, they're gonna disappear. Well, I'm assuming Kenny is gooshed, so maybe he didn't take any armor damage. So yeah, they're gonna be able to upgrade to head armor for pretty cheap. I guess that's the thought process here. 2-on-4 with no kit, no real chance of winning it as well. Shocks going for some pop flashes. It's a nice idea, and maybe just a different timing, and he would have been able to at least get 1, and maybe either an equal trade or able to even get away at a certain degree. But Immortals, 4 players, as soon as they get that kill, it opens the floodgates. 8-8. Winning that round, obviously going to feel great for Immortals. Now they just have to hold on to the next round, and I say that with a bit of caution because obviously it's not as easy as it seems on Inferno. You have to get close to those pistols. They're going to have a lot of grenades, so you have to hope they're going to check as many corners as they can with those Molotovs and HEs. Shock's having a bit of a panic attack over by quad.
I'm interested. Shocks is the one who didn't buy armor, so he's got 1,500. There's a lot of damage coming out through those smokes. Apex does get found, but yeah, Shocks is the one who hasn't saved. Usually it's the Opper, it's Kenny, right? So I'm assuming Shocks would be dropping an Op over, if that's going to be the situation.
I think he did that on the first map a couple of times.
Did he?
Yeah, so being a team player.
Well, G2, they're going to have a little bit of a misread. Kenny, Shocks, and NBK over at the B bomb site. Body's the only one here, and he's about to be found by an AK-47. Now, Immortals obviously doesn't know this A bomb site is clear, but if they keep progressing, they're going to be pretty happy. Oh, this is curious. I mean, Lucas seems to be the one who's just like, oh, I'll take care of it, guys. He's got an AK-47. He's all alone. He's got no one with him. A little bit risky if there had been people here, but going to be fine in this round.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, normally you'd want to see the UMP lead the charge, just in case. But they've done it perfectly this time. They managed to avoid all of those deagles. 3 of them in play on the other side. And I guess G2 are just going to say, okay, well, we'll try next time. See if that works out.
Yeah, I mean, these are still dangerous weapons to bring forward, right? Just one shot is all it takes. So they'll be happy with that. Bolts is still over here with a UMP, trying to get some of that bonus money. And if he keeps clearing, he's going to find Shocks out in the open. There's some aim pump. Shocks couldn't even appropriately respond. Kenny and NBK stuck in the site, and they're still chasing this down. Bolts and Henny are going to get aggressive here.
Yeah, and I don't see any reason why not. Kenny will get a headshot on one. Bolt's going to be falling back. Now he's got the AK instead, so maybe you just save that.
Yeah, maybe now you fall away, right? Yeah, I don't think they're going to be going for this too much. Seal just hoping someone peeks in it. He might be obliged. Kenny's there going for more. Getting a tag and a headshot. That's why you don't need to challenge it. Just let him have the deagles. I don't think anyone's going to be so bold again. It's the 9th round, but they do lose an AK-47 in the process.
Well done, Kenny. Making it a bit more expensive than it had to be. 9-8 is the scoreline, and we're moving into the 18th round here. G2 still can't really buy. They've saved a couple of deagles, so they still have to be a bit careful, Immortals. But now they've bought the MAC-10 on Bolts and the UMP on Henny. Have to think that maybe they're just going to put those two forward first. I imagine that's going to be the plan here.
Shock's going to get naded back right at that corner. G2 was doing that to Henny plenty in the first half, so returning the favor just a little bit. They're going to get banana control essentially for free, and already pretty aggressive up mid. KNG's the only one here. Kenny and NBK are really the only points of danger, and they're both at the A bomb site. Pretty, sorry, I just did it again, but a pretty cool stack on the rep side for G2.
Yeah. No, it's not bad at all, and you like to see these sorts of gambles, because there's nothing worse than watching people with pistols pretending to play a normal round and then just getting picked off one at a time. And this works out brilliantly. Oh, KNG is not going to be happy. Body taking down Lucas as well. And now they're trying to get onto the site. They haven't realized that NBK was there. That could have been bad. It is still a 3-on-3, and this recovered AK-47 and the one on Apex too could end up doing a lot of damage. Bolts is miles away, so they're really worried right now, Immortals. They don't quite want to go for the plant yet.
Shocks is far away as well. That would be a big fight to win.
Now the bomb is down. They know where Bolts is, and they know that he's low. Steel and Henny need to do almost all of the work here, I think. Obviously not going to be a kit on the G2 side, but this is getting very uncomfortable here for Immortals. They need to close it out. Just done a good job already starting off the second half, but now it's time to cement it. Steel hiding in the corner, and on top of him, Apex actually stepping on his face, and Steel goes down. Shocks with the kill, and Bolt's coming in. He's going to get dropped as well. And Shocks trying with the defuse. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time, and he won't. That's such a shame. They're going to save the AK, and that's it. But, I mean, it's still a big win here for G2.
That is an actual huge win. Taking all that away, the free AK-47. That was so very close. This is a great stack. And they even have, it's cool as well, because they get this kill, like, immediately, obviously, and then they just swing wide and mid and get a couple more kills onto it. They just take the fights. So, pretty expensive round. It'll put Immortals on notice as well. Ops are out for both sides. And yeah, I mean, the economy of Immortals is garbage at the moment.
Henny wanted to take the fight middle, but Henny's just going to be quicker this time. A big win for Immortals. We are getting late into this second map, and Immortals have a very good shot. I mean, if they win this round against G2, that's the first rifle round really coming out of the French, and if they can't make that work, then Immortals are going to be well on their way to a win here on Inferno.
Yeah, and we know how good Immortals is at breaking into bomb sites, cracking open defenses. So talented on it. Lucas, Steel, KNG, all in these A halls. Body and Shocks gambling a little bit. They were both in the lane. They're falling back to the bomb site now. Apex is going to rotate over as well, so they want to shore up this A defense. Running out of utility. They've only got one kit on Body. He's going to be in the pit. This is looking like it's going to be 4 players coming out of A apartments, and this is going to be a great crossfire. This is great for G2. Shocks can't get that initial kill. Steel punishes him, and here's Body. He's pouncing. Can he get more? No. Down into a 2-on-3.
Apex, at least with one return and rushing in. If he stays here for very long, he's going to go down. Yeah, he sort of has to fall back. That's a wallbang attempt up from the apartments from Henny, shooting through that window. Very interesting. Now, 20 seconds left. Apex goes down, and that should be the round here. NBK, 1 versus 3. They are just going to throw in the grenades here, so I would say back off.
Yeah, there's no real route to get through this, is there? That bomb, or the defuse kit is down in the pit, and yeah, he tries to play with the smoke, but Steel's ready for the punish. There was a world in which that, I think if Shocks, I think he legged the first guy. If he actually gets that kill, I think that could have been great for G2. That could have been a win there if he takes out that first player. Unfortunately, it's not to be. Yeah, there's the leg shot coming out. Great shot from Steel, and then dropping down also with the follow-up here. He's been having a phenomenal game. We pointed him out earlier, triple kill at the end of that round.
Well,
here's a buy and a half. Up onto Kenny, and then 4 pistols.
It's been seen before, but I would again say this is sort of a risk. Kenny down to 1,400 behind this. I think they had a big bank on one of their players. I think maybe Shocks had a lot of money. I'm not sure.
That was the chance, though. Kenny actually got a shot and he misses it. That's a bit unfortunate. And if he's going to play that passively, you can see attention is going to be over towards the A bomb site. As soon as they figure out where that op is, they go elsewhere. They find all the pistols. And now the name of the game for NBK and Kenny is keep this op alive.
And even that won't be easy. NBK is low on health. Well, Kenny going to pick up the kill then at least. But surely the hunt is going to be on. Steel already moving in that direction. Lucas trying to join him. Henny running as well. So we'll see if this is going to work out. Will be 12 rounds here for Immortals, so
I don't think they're going to go for it. I don't think they really have the economy to justify a hunt. I think they got to be very careful at how much they want to devote to this, and I think that's what they're doing. They're playing the conservative route. They're just saying we're gonna play for the money. If we lose 2 AKs here, we're pretty much buying out full next round. So I think this is a really smart choice by Immortals to just pause here.
I agree, but I'm also a bit shocked because they've been
They've been off the leash a little bit.
They have been playing some absolutely crazy Counter-Strikes. I was ready for more, but you're right. A bit more conservative this time. 4-round lead for Immortals. Getting ever closer to that win to put us on a 3rd map if it's doable.
I'd enjoy that. What's the 3rd map we have here? Overpass, right?
I believe it is, if I'm not wrong. Good map to finish off with as well.
Yeah, it would be. It's a map that also the G2's had some pretty cool tactics on in terms of their CT aggression. I think it's been quite nice to watch. Regardless, Kenny does bring that up into this round, which is nice because this is now a solid buy behind that AWP. Previously a little bit questionable. Great nade damage. On to Apex. He's down to 53. Banana control early on goes the way of G2. NBK and Apex are really fighting for this. They're actually going to start pushing down with that deep smoke. So here's a little bit of a change up, and Immortals don't like this at all. Volts and Henny falling all the way back towards the T ramp.
I think that's a great way of taking that. Again, I mean, it sort of goes back to how people used to play Banana, but that really deep smoke, instead of having grenade fights, which people tend to have now, they just sort of trade grenades over that wall.
Yeah.
This actually sort of makes sure that it's a bit more difficult for Immortals to do anything. Still trying the wall bang shot, but NBK not getting tagged yet. And now they've put 4 men on A, and NBK alone over here. What do you think about that, Moses?
I think you got to rotate one back now because NBK's had to give up Banana. He doesn't have that information anymore. I think it was a great idea earlier on, and here's what we do like to see, what you were just talking about. Pop, flash, peek, clear, top, mid, at least get the information. That smoke is going to keep Apex here, and he's going to go for another peek. Doesn't see anyone quite yet. But if he swings out again, he certainly will.
Or if they double peek, there's no Molotovs to check the corner that Apex is in, so it won't be easy, but it's a bit of a fake. There's the kill on KNG, but the real trouble is NBK over at the other side. He's going to get the one kill on Bolts, and can he do more? The bomb is coming his way. He goes down to Steel with 15 seconds left. Oh, Steel running right into the bullet, and that leaves Henny alone. Bomb is planted, but this would be one hell of a 1 versus 4. He's got the ult picked up right now. That might be the best weapon considering what kind of player he is. Gets the flick even as he's flashed, and now they're close. They're coming for him. Trying again. He almost sees it. There's the second. Taking down Shox. Doesn't get the third shot this time, but he's hiding back here, and this is actually working out for him. They're going to go for it once again. The peek is in. He misses the chance. And now they're on the bomb. Can they get the defuse in time? They've already tapped it. They're already on it. And Kenny to save the day as body defuses. That nearly spiraled out of control for them.
Yeah, Henny doing a great job finding the one-on-ones, being just aggressive enough to not allow G2 to trade it, and boy did they need that round. But here's the dangerous thing. That's a victory in a way for Henny, because just as we keep this train of thought on the economy on this map, those 2 kills are massive. It goes from G2 surviving with 4 players to now they have to drop some weapons over. Still not great for the defense. A fake almost works out, but that 4 players at A eventually does. They send Apex to be aggressive. He kills 1. He finds the information. They're able to rotate back just in time. Aggressiveness from Bolts, and it's NBK with the op.
Oh, no! The grenade damage.
That slow him down?
Yes, I think it did. You could see his feet just getting stuck in the tar, the burning tar, and he just couldn't make it out.
That's unfortunate. That's a pretty nice flick from NBK.
It was very good. I actually thought Bolts had beat their timing there because he was so quick through the smoke, but now Apex has fallen back with the AWP holding the angle. Surely there's going to be a couple of grenades. He takes down KNG. This is just an interesting evolution of G2 that we are seeing multiple people sort of trying to go for these orb kills. Oh my god! Taking down Steel right through the coffin.
Oh, do it again, please.
You can't do that at that angle. I wish you could, but it's not quite going to work out, I think. It's a nice attempt, but he's going to have to go for a deeper angle. Well, that's like 7 damage to Lucas. But you can't... That angle you can. It's possible to shoot through those windows, just got to angle it differently. 2 versus 4 here. In Immortals, they still have Henny left alive. He's admittedly trapped in the back of the bomb site. Gonna get the 1 kill on Kenny, going for more. He misses a flick once, and now it's all on Lucas, and he gets shot down from body, taking the last 2 kills. And G2 fighting their way back, making it 12-10 here. I don't know what we're seeing. This is all madness, isn't it?
They have sustained, G2 has, and a little bit of a mistake there. KNG going just a second early. You can see the smoke's about to plume. Flashbang isn't quite on point, but Apex is able to get a free shot, and obviously this is just the beauty of his spam, isn't it? But those are the small things that can cost you those rounds. Their Immortals buying up into this. They didn't have the greatest money. They have left Lucas on 1100, perhaps for an AWP in the future if needed. But 1 AK, 1 Galil, and here's Kenny at his best. Getting aggressive, going for a peek in the window, and they force him back with a flashbang, some bullets. Doesn't want to risk it. NBK as well, back on the double op.
You would say G2 should not take any risks anyway, because they're playing against Galil, UMP, Deagles, AKs, right? So giving an early kill to Immortals now would just be a big mistake.
It certainly would be. This is where... This has got to be some kind of execute from the Immortals side of things, and the scary part is they're not even messing with the B bomb site. They've pretty much had presence there whenever they've had solid buys of some sort. This time, NBK and Apex feel nothing, and they're just starting to creep out to see if they can get information.
Is Henny going to flash him in from middle? I think he is. He's got 2 flashbangs, so Shox. The question is if Body's going to get flashbang. That's actually the only thing. He will. I think he's actually in the arch. If you take a look at Body, I think he's got just enough to get flashed from whatever he's going to be throwing. Because I think Shox for sure will be. No, they go just a bit too high, so Body can still see something, and he's trying to save Shox, and Apex coming in just in time. It's such a good idea for Immortals, but the grenades not exactly working out in their favor, and now it's 2 versus 3. Bolts going down, and Steel, he's in the pit, but he's got 3 people waiting for him, and Shox doing a great job here with a double.
The key of that round, I mean, yes, they have a great defense set up in A, and that defense might also be able to just handle that kind of and execute the waterfall out of A halls. But the real key is NBK and Apex deciding to push out mid-round of that B bomb site. They post up NBK with the op at car. They have all the info. They know no one's in Banana. They know no one's anywhere near the B bomb site, so they're able to cheat Apex, and it comes, like you said, just in time, so his rotate gets there to just get that one kill, and that can sometimes be the entire round in that one kill if he's able to get back. But great read by G2 to go chase after the information, being proactive, not willing to just sit back.
Damage on Bolts. Kill on Steel. MBK just doing the work in this round. It's good to see. The bomb is down as well. And the flames will eventually consume KNG. Steel the last one. And what could he do? G2 about to even out the scoreline here and make it 12-12. Seems inevitable. They will get the kill on Body. That's at least something. And what a headshot from Steel! MBK peeking into that. That could have gone horribly wrong.
It could have. So close. Steel almost pulling it off. He wanted that bomb play. You saw the immediate kill on Body and just the bomb comes out. That's all he wanted. Still not bad to do some of that damage. And I think this is going to be a faster tactic, Anders. Immortals going away from the AWP. They want 5 AK-47, so I got to imagine this is going to be something where they pick up the pace. You can see Henny obviously having the money for it if he had wanted to.
25th round. Immortals, they've put in all the work on this map to actually pull it through. They have what it takes, but Kenny gonna get a shot and taking down Lucas. That was up in the apartments and partly through the wall.
Yes. As he was jumping in. That's a bit brutal.
That is very brutal. Maybe we get the replay. Steel gonna peek in. If there's two people waiting, he almost got the transfer. KNG tries to do it. That's actually a good move, but Shox is somehow quicker.
Yeah, you have an advantage in that fight as the terrorist, right? Turning that corner, and he's got all the way to fall back. But Shox is known to win some of those battles, even when he's at that disadvantage. And Henny and Bolts feeling very lonely. They didn't pick up the pace like I thought they would. They had plenty of utility, so perhaps some kind of an execution that they wanted to do. But the advanced positioning, obviously, Kenny puts a stop to that. The stack and Halls puts a stop to that. And these two guys scratching their heads wondering where do they go. And it's right into the crosshair of Kenny, although he misses the shot, and that's a pretty easy kill, but the double pit might throw him off.
Shox hiding. They're gonna come look for him, and he doesn't stand a chance. Very thorough work coming out of Bolts, and a headshot from Henny taking down Apex, and suddenly it turns. What an incredible turnaround, in fact, in favor of Immortals now. NBK with the AWP, and they should not give him anything here. The trouble for NBK lies in walking into the crossfire. And they're not going to peek him just yet. Bit of a jump there. And NBK knows this is trouble for G2. They don't have... I mean, they actually need this AWP.
Yeah.
Their economy is very low.
It is a bit beat up, isn't it? Body's going to be on a low buy. Same with Apex. This is going to be a little bit tough. And yeah, Shox calling the timeout already, just because they know they're going to need to talk it over. That's a very, very nice round from Immortals to win. 2-on-4 situation. Obviously, Kenny is just a little bit low. That's unfortunate. But the presence of mind to clear the pit entirely for Shox that's dirty. That's not fair. Oh, that's the one.
But, I mean, I actually was wondering if that was the first one as well, and we just didn't get it. But either way, that shot is remarkable.
The master of flicks.
13-12. The economy for the French looking questionable. They could buy 2 M4s and then maybe something on the rest. It seems like that's what they're going to try and do here, so...
Yeah, dropping the op over to Kenny.
Double op.
Double op.
Okay.
All right, so they're loving this.
But...
Thomas on Body, it's not Shox. Shox and NBK? Surely not. Given
the economy, it's just so hard to tell who's going to win this now. Like, both teams are low on money. Could go either way.
Here's a B-rush.
Charging in. They're all right in front of him. He gets the kill. Apex there with the one follow-up. Puts out the Molotov, and they're going to run through it. Apex not expecting that. Relying a bit too much in the Molotov, maybe.
Yeah, I actually thought that Molotov was going to be great, but they found an avenue around it. I thought that was going to slow him down just enough. Here comes Kenny with the M4, and he gets dropped. Shox is at the base of Banana with the AWP. He can do absolutely nothing, and the call has come out to already save the weapon.
That's so brutal. Again, that Banana fight deciding a lot of the round.
Yeah, but what a sick call from Immortals just out of the timeout like that. The B-rush, the uppercut, just changed the pace on him in a big, big way.
Now what's the play? G2 really couldn't afford to lose this round.
No, they couldn't. That's the tough part, isn't it? That's a big risk to take with that buy. They're going to be scratching their heads. I mean, at least you have an op, right? This is where I don't know. I thought it might have been for like some kind of a spawn, because they had a double op setup and Kenny was using an M4. They had ops on NBK and Shocks. So I thought maybe Shocks just had like a good spawn to peek middle and go for a pick and then pass it over to Kenny, but that never happened. So you got to imagine now when the op is one of the few weapons you have in G2, they're just going to buy right back into this round as well, just trusting in this op on Kenny to do something. You unleash him here, I guess. You say, Kenny, do whatever you want to find us a kill, to find us an opening pick.
Yeah, whatever you want, just as long as it works. Kenny's gonna go close, scoped up, and he misses the chance. That could have been great. In the meantime, Shocks has fallen.
Yeah, he's been spammed from alt mid all the way into those halls. Shocks takes all the damage. That's tough in such a crucial round. Kenny not able to find anything. Immortals being very, very cautious, spamming through smoke, spamming these corners, waiting, making sure there can't be a peek. And another good kill from Steel. He's been a monster.
If that had been an M4 instead of a FAMAS, I think that's a kill.
This is that's his 30th kill, Steel, in this match.
Oh.
He might go for 31 of them. Oh, it is! Kenny can't win that fight. Apex alone in the bomb site. He's held in the corner as well. There's Henny for the op.
My God, that's a big win for Steel in that round, especially that last kill. Triple for him, surviving on 2 health, and as you said, bringing it to 31 kills in 27 rounds. That's madness. 12 to 15. It's map point for Immortals. One more, and we're going to go to map 3.
Overpass. And this has been a sequence of force buys for G2 right at the end of this, knowing it's a little bit of a desperate situation. The map started with G2 force buys, and it could possibly end with G2 force buys. Apex getting aggressive. This is insanity. Surely.
Hiding in that corner. Bolt's going to get the spam on NBK. And Apex, I don't think they will have heard him yet, but what can he do at this point in time? Now they definitely know. And some shots coming through, trying to see if he can make it back. That's still very risky. It seems like he's going to at least be successful. Still with the UMP. Some backup being called for as well. 4 versus 5 right now.
Again, this battle over towards Banana is critical to this round. All the focus of both teams is here. Kenny's rotated around. He's got another smokes good kill from Shocks. He can't build on it though. And this is where that opening pick becomes really important, because the defense is spread so thin. Kenny's got to get over to the A-bomb site to help out Body immediately.
FAMAS on the bomb site. They're going to come in at a headshot angle, so maybe he could do that. Did he not see him? Oh, Bolts. He must have seen the feet, right? I don't think Apex realized. Body going to get one. Gets a headshot and Steel as well. And the C-set is still here to follow it up. 2 versus 3 now. And coming in from behind is Apex. He was let through by Bolts. 1 versus 3. The spray is in. And he gets the headshot on Apex. 30 seconds here for Bolts to try and steal their dreams. Otherwise, who knows if G2 could put this in overtime. We've got just 4 health left. The French are still alive in this game and holding on. This is absolutely tense. 14 seconds, and there seems to be almost no way out for Bolts here. They've got a perfect crossfire setup, and Kenny's going to win the round for them there. I don't know what just happened.
The unlikeliest of rounds.
And the AWP fell under the hay cart. He couldn't pick it up.
Just to add salt into the wounds.
Jesus.
Yes, that rotation came just in time. There's Body with the FAMAS, and obviously wrapping around the site. I think that might be a kill for Steel if Kenny's not there. Wasn't expecting that player. In a 4-on-3, Immortals can't get it done in time. And now the buy is much, much stronger for G2. And a little bit weaker for the Immortal side as Lucas is left on just a deagle. Again, emphasis towards Banana. Smoke is plumed right in the middle of it, so Bolts, Henny, and KNG cannot progress.
Just imagine if they lose this round. I mean, then Immortals can have nothing to fight with, nearly nothing at least in the final round. So the worst way to concede overtime is that way when you just don't have the money. Apex and MBK at the top again, fighting for Banana really aggressively. G2, I love how much they're willing to fight for Banana. They're not just going to give it up easily.
It does make for an interesting game, doesn't it? Because there's just constantly a brawl going on one side of the map. NBK and Apex falling back a little bit more. They've won that battle this time at least. Bolts and Henny brought down to about half HP. So it's back to the A-bomb site, and this is the thing. MBK and Apex have been very good throughout this half of figuring out when to rotate back towards the A bomb site, of having that information at B. So there's a clock on when Immortals needs to make their move over here at A.
Kenny trying to spot the top, but we'll be going down to KNG. And now, very weak defense on this A side. They've come so far, G2. They just need to win a bit more, and they could get into overtime. But Immortals, they have a different thing in mind, and Shox goes down. Apex with a kill. He might be here on time. He's going to get a great double body to follow it up, taking one, but he can't follow up the spray, and it leaves it all on NBK. 1 versus 2 here to try and keep the map alive. Otherwise, we're going to go to a third map to close out the series, and NBK, he's in a lot of trouble. He might be able to make this 2-1v1s, in fact. Because of the positional play here from Steel, he has a bit of a chance. NBK peeking in, but Steel to close it out. It seems only justified. It's a 33 kills for him as we finish 16-13 in favor of the Brazilian side. Immortals here going to map 3. Brilliant game.
Yeah, what a performance from Steel. You have to say in that last round, the big impact kill is Lucas, who's over by Library, spinning all the way around to get an instant kill on Shox in the pit. That's what opens things up. That's what turns that into just a